But now this team is playing such pretty football. I don't care about the fact that they concede so many goals. I really don't care. They just play this pleasing on the eye style, entertaining. It's Hellraiser style football. I absolutely love it.
And what a season it has been for Barcelona. They set a ridiculous level, winning the domestic treble, their 28th La Liga title, as I said, and 171 goals scored in all competitions. That's the most of any team in Europe's top 5 leagues. And I think we have to start with the man who masterminded all of this, Hansi Flick. He has played this perfectly.
He's played it perfectly, but he's also gone into a club that, in many ways, people expected him to somewhat fail at that football club. It wasn't quite right at Barcelona when he took over, and I think we were all a bit surprised that Hansi Flick decided to go to Barcelona. You know, why would he decide to go right now to this football club where there's an enormous amount of pressure from their own supporters, there's an enormous amount of pressure from the media, the local media in particular, but also the Spanish media in the country. But yet this guy goes in with pure determination to prove everybody that he means business. Why would he not? This guy has won title after title. Wherever he's gone, he's been successful. But he does a great job of mixing the youth and the experienced players together to get the best performance. He has taken away the fact that there are many superstars in and amongst this group, and he's made the team a superstar. He's leaned on the fact that, of course, Lewandowski's got a great deal of experience and respect in that locker room. You then had to deal with a ton of injuries, of course, Ter Stegen being the biggest one. So you've been forced to bring in, obviously, a Chesney who's come in and done an unbelievable job. But the youngsters have got better at him. The youngsters have taken their game to the next level. I was watching Pedri, and I know they lost a game today, but I was watching this guy perform today. He's like a freaking artist when he gets on the ball. He sees things that no other player sees. And yet I understand that Lamine Yamal will pick up possession of the ball on that right-hand side, and every single time he wants to go on that left foot and aim for the far corner, but not one single player seems like they can stop him. And why would they want to? Because right now Barcelona are the best team that I've been enjoying watching all season long, because they play the prettiest football, and they've probably got the best player on the planet right now playing on their team. It's that guy there, Lamine Yamal.
He was absolutely brilliant again. I said it was a copy and paste goal, but those are the goals that he keeps on scoring in defenders. It doesn't matter which team it is that's up against Barcelona, they don't seem to be able to figure out a way to stop him. We saw the lineup there. How different will this team look next season? I mean, obviously the goalkeeper situation will change a little bit, but other than that, he can kind of just roll out the same sort of thing. How's he gonna refine this team to make it even better next season?
Isn't that a compliment on the job that Hansi Flick has done, though, that he doesn't necessarily need to go into the transfer window desperately and spend a ton of money, which they probably don't have to be able to spend anyway. They're going to have players coming back from injury, which is going to absolutely help them. But I think what he's done, and he's got consistently good performances. I mean, if you look at the lineup that they put out today in particular, I thought Martin did a good job. He was taken off at half-time. Martin is another solid performer. Kubarsi's been excellent and very consistent this season. Garcia obviously stepped up, got an assist in that game today. But the quality clearly comes from that midfield area once they do push forward. Gavi, it's great to see him in the lineup, and he's one player on the outside right now trying to get a consistent place in the starting 11. So, I mean, if you're looking at an area where they could potentially try to improve on, I would say it's a bit more depth along that back line. Maybe the right full-back position. Can they get a little bit more speed along that back line? Because realistically, the only weakness, and many people will say this is not a weakness, however, it was found out, in my personal opinion, in the Champions League. Their weakness was obviously the high back line, but also conceding offset plays as well. Throw-ins are a problem for them. They've conceded, I think, in the last 7 games from a throw-in, which is nowhere near good enough. And it's just a lackadaisical approach. But it's very difficult to criticise this Barcelona side, Adam. It's been so joyful watching them perform. I've actually found my love for Barcelona again. I got bored watching them for a long period of time. When Lewandowski went there, because I have a man crush on Lewandowski, I started to watch more games. But now this team is playing such pretty football. I don't care about the fact that they concede so many goals. I really don't care. They just play this pleasing on the eye style, entertaining. It's Hellraiser style football. I absolutely love it. Inject it into my veins a little more for next season.
Absolutely, I agree with that. Do you think that the Hellraiser style, the high line, really attacking, however many you score, will score more, will just roll that again next season, or will he refine it a little bit?
The only way I see him refining it, and why would you want to? Okay, maybe in the Champions League you do need to improve, because they were found out a little bit by Inter Milan, obviously unfortunate not to get themselves to a final. I think PSG would have caused them a few problems as well had they got them in the final with their pace, especially in behind. That's the one area of weakness that I have with this Barcelona, is that they need to be a bit quicker along that back line. If you're going to play the high line, which I absolutely think is okay, Hansi Flick seems like he doesn't want to change it, then you need a bit more pace, aggressive pace. It's not just that recovery and the timing runs, obviously defensively. We've seen Koundé getting himself into position, Araujo in position, and obviously Kubarsi in position to sweep up. And then Chesney's been forced to play that sweeper keeper. I think it's been maybe a little bit too much this season. Next season, I think that's an area they can improve on with that extra ability, having pace in behind. And if they find that Barcelona, what they have offensively from midfield going forward, it's absolutely deadly. I feel a bit sorry for Lewandowski though. He's stuck on 99 goals, couldn't buy a goal over the last couple of games. No, and he's 4 now behind Mbappe, and that's the only place where I think that maybe in the last few games kind of let themselves down a little bit.
And with Ter Stegen coming back, I mean, Szczesny's surprised us all with how well he's done throughout the season in goal, but that almost feels like a new signing for Barca next season.
Yeah, will do. I mean, having him come back into the sticks, even though I thought he was beaten by that cheeky little chip, obviously, to make it 2-2, I think he's a brilliant goalkeeper. He obviously has a great deal of experience. He's well respected there, and it's a German on German as well, where you've got a German boss handling with a German goalkeeper. I think that type of a relationship is very healthy for them. Maybe you could have a bit more depth because Chesney's not going to go on forever. I'm intrigued to see what will happen with him now going forward. But what a job he did do, Adam. Stepping into Barcelona when they needed him most, he performed incredibly well. And again, that high backline put him in a bit of trouble sometimes. But he just took it on the chin. You remember we did that game, it was Benfica, when it was a wild one, and it finished off with Rafinha scoring that winning goal late on. It was ridiculous. And you remember Chesney absolutely smashed someone in that game, right?
Yeah.
And we're thinking this is going to be a long campaign for Barcelona. They didn't change much. He kept on playing like that. Hansi Flick kept on playing that high back line. And you know why? Because they're just so deadly going forward.
As we know, Barcelona have had Real Madrid's number this season in terms of the Clásico. As you can see there, beat them in the final of the Copa del Rey and the Supercopa de España as well.
Yep.
Do you see that continuing next season? Do you think at the moment that Barcelona kind of just know how to beat Real Madrid at the moment with the way the two sides are playing?
Well, 16 goals they scored against Real Madrid over the 4 games they competed against them. I mean, they absolutely humiliated Real Madrid over the games that they played. And winning major trophies is very important for both clubs. Real Madrid will be very unhappy with the fact that they didn't come away with a major trophy this year. Kylian Mbappe will be very upset that he's probably going to win Pichichi and enjoy that golden boot. However, he didn't have a major trophy. He wants the Champions League, still yet to achieve that goal in his own personal career. They'll be better, Real Madrid. But do you see any of these Barcelona players losing sleep of what Real Madrid do next season? I mean, we all saw the videos, and it's ridiculous what happens on social media. Players making fun of one another, and obviously,
I think quite the opposite. I think they'll almost be inspired by, you know, obviously in the last few seasons they've been able to play against Real Madrid with Carlo Ancelotti at the helm. Everyone wants to beat an Ancelotti side, one of the greatest managers of all time. And now they're going to be inspired by the fact that, oh, we want to beat Xabi Alonso's Real Madrid.
I think it's a new challenge, right? You always have to be very careful with that as well. When a new manager comes in, you never quite know how they're going to handle that because it is new competition. But Real Madrid, I would imagine, will improve with 3 or 4 big pieces to their squad. And also, FIFA Club World Cup's going to be impacted there as well. So I'm intrigued to see how they handle that type of a situation. But listen, Barcelona, brilliant squad. What a fantastic job Hansi Flick has done. He's the one who deserves the highest of praise because every single player, including Lewandowski, have improved their game this season. They have been so good to watch, so entertaining to watch. It's been brilliant, and I don't want this to end. I want it to go into next campaign, and I want him to point the finger at Real Madrid and Atletico Madrid, because watch out for them, and say, what you got? Come at me again. I'm Hansi Flick. I'm the king of this town now.
Yeah, it's going to be a superb season next season in Spanish football. Can Real Madrid mount a comeback against Barcelona next season? We'll have to wait and see.